Well, happy day, good friends. Good afternoon. I bring you so many meal prep projects that we're gonna get into, but in particular, we got a Grand's biscuit situation happening. We are making homemade from scratch biscuits. We are gonna make keto biscuits. We are doing breakfast freezer meals. We are doing mega epic meal prep, and we're gonna solve some life problems with 4 discount chickens and so many other adventures coming up in today's big home cooking from scratch video. Now, you know, in my last homemade freezer meals video, and you'll have to forgive me, we got dishwashers talking and the refrigerators talking, but buckle up, you can hear me, right? We defrosted 4 chickens, and I had this great idea that because my big oven is down, and I have yet to find an answer with that situation. Phone calls have been made, but it's gonna be a while. Anyway, let's use one of my big 22 quart roasters and cook our chickens that way. Now, usually when I start 2 chickens for my large family of 10, within 24 hours, both are gone. So if I do 4, we're getting ahead a little bit, but not really. And we're gonna do some sweet potatoes in the slow cooker. This butternut squash is going to be some other projects coming up. And I've got some more sweet potatoes down here. Nope, those are onions. Okay, so it won't be a huge thing of sweet potatoes. Maybe we'll do some other potatoes too. So my plan is we're gonna do potatoes in the slow cooker. You know, we've done that a whole bunch. We're gonna do chickens in the roaster. This is not even 3 pounds of sweet potatoes, and these are super small. So I'm gonna get some from my John Henry bag. We've got 2 25-pound bags of potatoes, and we'll do some more red potatoes with our sweet potatoes, and those will just be choose your own adventure potatoes, which are just fine. And we'll probably use the 10 quart slow cooker for these. I'm just gonna wash them, put a little oil on the bottom of the slow cooker, and then we get cooking them. And to roast potatoes too, but I'll probably talk about that today, and we'll do that in a few days. So what's the whole situation with the Pillsbury biscuits? I had got a couple bags of those a few weeks ago at Sharp Shopper, and at some point in recent days, and I think I did this, I grabbed them, put them in the freezer. It was the other day, I was like, oh, I'm not getting homemade biscuits. Maybe I'll get the gravy done. And hey, the biscuits already in the freezer done. I got one little questionable potato there I'm trying to get rid of. Anyway, I put them into the refrigerator. I didn't do them, no one else did them. I don't really know what happened. It's a biscuit vortex. But like when I have done freezer biscuits, when you and I have made them in the past, I need a towel. I got one of the people who look like me going to get me some kitchen towels right now because I need some. When I do freezer biscuits, I make the biscuits, I flash freeze them, and I'll put them in a gallon freezer bag. They'll be like frozen hockey pucks, and then I bake them from frozen. And that's the whole intent with these Grands. I'm pretty sure they were cooked from frozen. Oven, do not eat raw biscuit dough. No thawing required, do not microwave. Anyway, these are now basically just 3 bags of dough, and I don't want to waste them, so I thought, so we're just gonna take these and try to make something that looks like biscuits out of them, get them baked so they're not wasted. I think they were like $1.49 a bag or so, and they were 20 biscuits. We're making homemade. I'm gonna quit talking, we're gonna get to it. It's gonna be a lot. Let's see what we can pull off. And if you can see me getting down to my slow cooker cabinet, oh, a lid that definitely does not go down there. I'll need to move that. Anyway, we need to have some easy wins. Getting the potatoes going, getting the chickens going will be easy wins, and then we'll just solve some life problems and cook those Pillsbury biscuits because we have them and we'll use them. And then you know what that means though? The biscuits that you and I are gonna actually get to make homemade from scratch will actually get a nice stash in the freezer. That's the plan. Whew, yes, I need to change those out. Those have been working pretty good. I'm gonna use my slow cooker today. And people ask me about putting water in with their potatoes. I have never found a need to do that. And usually even on low, they're ready in a couple hours. So I'm just gonna dump them in. And let's see if we can get all these in here. I think we'll be able to. So that way I have my household folks who like the red potatoes. Several of us like the sweet potatoes. And it's definitely a nice thing to have prepped. Again, not like a week of potatoes, but a little bit of potatoes. Now, one of the things I was just thinking about is I don't actually have, I just went and looked at my basement. I don't know where my racks are for the bottom of any of my roasters, really. I have several up here because we were doing canning projects, but I think the biggest thing is whether you're doing a turkey or doing chickens, they need to not be on the bottom so that they're up, not in their liquid. So I think we accomplished that though, just like when I've used the goose pot, what do? I do onions, I do celery, I do carrots. Of course, I've done a lot of different potatoes and root vegetables. So, and I just put all those potatoes in the slow cooker. Let me run around here and see what I have by way of carrots and such. Maybe we take those potatoes out. Maybe I make more. We'll figure it out. Okay, we're gonna use what we have. I don't have bags of carrots right now, but we do have potatoes. So I'll also cut a couple onions in half, and we will just do things this way. Alrighty, so hold that idea together really quick. I am going to just slice a couple onions and put those at the bottom. That's a good way to use them. I'm probably going to do 2 roaster ovens and 2 chickens per roaster. I am just, again, gonna cut some wedges, and I will throw some avocado oil. Let me get that going. I do, yeah. And this is my roaster that, oh, my pan is in there too. Pour it out. That's a little something. Okay. I'm just gonna move the biscuits over. I don't want to put them anywhere else or I might forget what I'm doing. I'm just gonna rub down the inside of this roaster and the walls and such. I think we're getting a pretty good plan together. I have never cooked chickens in the roaster, but you know, I cook chickens like nobody's business, again, in my goose pot, right? So I just want to doubly get both roasters going, and we will definitely have potatoes meal prep. Maybe it will be a week of potato options. That's certainly exciting. A little more avocado oil at the bottom of this roaster. The kitchen is gonna smell great. My reason also, now I could use one of my Dutch ovens and do 1 chicken at a time. Isn't that sad? But 1 chicken at a time in my regular oven. However, that sadness, and it would take quite a bit, and we will bake some biscuits as well as getting freezer biscuits in the freezer. You all tell me to put a towel under my cutting board, and I haven't, and here I am off to the races, sliding all around, right? Okay, there you go. Have some onion and some potatoes. Now, potatoes being cooked under a bunch of delicious chicken drippings is also equally amazing. So that's a good idea. I'm glad y'all thought of that. I'm glad I heard you talking from so far away. Oh yeah, that makes a nice little elevated bit there. Now we will do another onion. We've got a red onion and a golden onion. I still didn't get that towel under that cutting board, and you are telling me to do that. Okay. won't hurt nothing. I'll just pour some avocado oil over these potatoes too. Pretty good. All right. And I will probably put a roaster oven on either side here. So the plan is we're going to get the chicken and potatoes cooking, and then we'll get something worked out with that biscuit dough that we have, because we have it. And then we'll start our other projects. All right, so I've never worked with these Costco chickens. The Aldi chickens I know have giblets, have little packages in them, and I don't know if these do. And then my farm chickens didn't. But we were shocked the first time we cooked the Aldi ones, and there was like a little plastic bag in there. Okay, and we'll do breast side up. I will sprinkle some Redmond salt and avocado oil over top. And, well, I mean, yes, I could do other seasonings. I do have that lemon pepper that's really good. As soon as I say, all I'm gonna do is avocado oil and Redmond salt, then my brain is like, but you have lemon pepper and you have other seasonings. So we'll see. We'll choose our adventure with that here in a minute. And I'm pretty sure there's no little giblet packets in these. Again, no. Don't. Maybe they're loose in here. No. I'm like doing my chicken anatomy. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to get the chickens in the roasters, deal with the mess in my bowl, get my scissors in the sink, and then we will avocado oil and season. Okay, yeah, so there's the little Aldi bags. We'll just make our way across here. And this one doesn't have a giblet bag, which is fine. I just, again, I don't want to accidentally cook it. Put a few more potatoes under this little guy. I feel like I'm giving them little pillows. And they can have the cavities stuffed with onions and such, but this is pretty good. We're getting this done. Okay, here's how our 4 chickens are looking, and now we're gonna do some seasonings and some avocado oil. And now I'm just thinking a crispy chicken skin, okay? That is all that's on my brain. And so now I'm like, yeah, I'm just doing an oil, which we just did, some Redmond salt. Everyone can use whatever sauces they would like. We're gonna cook 4 chickens in the roaster. Look at us, probably 20 pounds of chicken here. Pretty good, pretty okay. We'll do some pepper, just a little. Okay, probably good. Now, what I read, I will link any articles for you below. I don't have a recipe or directions over on my blog on how to do roaster oven chickens, and I guess this one could sit here just the same, but I've read a couple articles real quick, And I believe that they were saying to start at about 450 and then turn the heat down on one of my tripods here. So I like to keep a big glass jar for that. So we will give it a go. And real quick, I'm like, did I show you all what this looks like before we put the lids on? So these are our Aldi chickens, and these are our Costco chickens, potatoes and onions underneath. And just like if we were canning, I'm just gonna push that to the other side. Woo! Don't go too fast, chickens, right? I had hoped that this week we would get to canning bushels and bushels of apples. However, I've got these meal prep projects left from my last meal prepping day, and I'm like, I want to work through these first, and then we'll get into our canning adventures. Okay, this one, turn it this way. Okay, so I'm just going to put them at 450 here. That one's already there. I will look up the info in the articles again and confirm. Is that on? Don't have a red light on. Hold on here. And these roasters, I mean, it has a red light, so let me see here. All right. I would think that red light would be on. I wouldn't think I have 2 broken roasters now, so we'll just let them sit at 450. Few minutes, see how they're gonna do. And then we are gonna tackle not wasting our Pillsbury dough. Get going with what we can do from there. Oh, I hear it. I hear sizzling, must be okay. All right, so I'm gonna use our precious little sheet pans and foil. I will probably put a little spray on the pans. We're just gonna see. If we can just get them to kind of like drop biscuit consistency, that's fine. But again, they're just a doughy mess. So if I would have baked them immediately from frozen, they would have been like our homemade from scratch biscuits. Only our homemade from scratch biscuits don't have a lot of interesting ingredients in them, so that is nice. And these qualify as emergency biscuits, and that is okay. That is their purpose. My thinking was when I saw them, I was like, well, I mean, you know, just like I'm not above using canned biscuits because many times a mama needs canned biscuits too, and I can't get a big enough batch of biscuits because my folks love them so much. And I don't know if we'll double butter our biscuits today or not. I thought last night, oh, we set those out the other day. I will quickly throw those on a sheet pan and they could just have those with dinner if they want them. And then I saw them and I thought, yeah, this will be another day. So here's what they are now. They were nice little frozen biscuits. So it's okay. Just some drop biscuit action. That's what we're doing. Better than nothing biscuits. There's no rhyme or reason going on right now. There's just Pillsbury biscuit dough being saved. I was gonna say, these feel like they might have little bits of butter in them. You know, around here we make many things homemade from scratch, and we have some questionable ingredient things. It's not 100% perfection, but it's also pretty good and pretty okay. It doesn't look like butter, but it looks like some kind of chunks of fat. I mean, we don't really want to look at all the ingredients here. one. These are gonna be, it's gonna take a little bit. Two, maybe I can squeeze one more on here. If I can, yeah, let's move over a little bit, biscuits. We got, let's at least finish one bag per sheet, okay? We can do it, we can make friends. Friends with your biscuit dough buddies. Now that one's pretty small. Anyone want to share a little bit to make your buddy kind of the right one? Okay. All right, so it was supposed to be 20 biscuits. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. We got a baker's dozen of biscuits, and now I will just do that again with one more. And what do we kind of put it on 350? 375 sounds good to me. I don't have anything in that oven, so that's winning. So it is 3 o'clock, and I think I told you we're having family pictures done here on the property about 5:30. There's some clouds coming in. We're trying to get golden hour, but deal with lighting and things. So anyway, I can cook this afternoon. I've already been at it at least 30 minutes, just pulling things together and chatting with you. Taking care of someone that needed something for a cat that I needed to order real quick. So, should be able to go dedicated for 2 hours with all my extra things I juggle, meal prepping. And we will have a good bit at the end of this. And now what I don't get to this afternoon before family picture time is that we will, tomorrow, I plan to have another batch of big batch meal prep time, and we will just, as we do, pick up what's left of this list, move it into tomorrow's list, and keep on going. Now, my goal is, and you're so good, you heard me in my last video talk about these biscuits, but if you've been around for a while, you know this is how we roll. We plan things, and we get it done, right? Most of the time, 3/4 of the time. Pretty good at getting things done. So if we can get biscuit dough done today, I'm thinking I bought sausage patties from Costco that were pretty decent, and I was also wanting to do homemade from scratch biscuits, bake them, and do sausage biscuits for the freezer, both traditional homemade from scratch and a keto low carb variation. Okay, so we got 2 bags of these. Here they go, and we'll put these in the oven. All right, and this makes me feel like, you know, not wasteful, doing pretty okay here. Still using that discount biscuit dough, someone will eat it. All right, so of course, now we deal with AI overviews, but to roast a whole chicken in a roaster oven, cook it for approximately 15 to 20 minutes per pound at 350. Of course, we want internal temperature, 165. I saw on the Costco packages to 185. I've always made sure it's at least 165, but I always get things to like 209, so pretty good on that. General cook guidelines, I will link these sources down below. 3 to 4 pound chicken, 1 to 1.5 hours, 5 pound, up to 2 hours. We will probably go for 2 hours, and then I'll check it, use a rack. Sorry, failing you there. Consider a high heat start. Some recipes suggest starting at a higher temperature, 425 to 450 for 15 minutes to help crisp the skin. Okay, let me just set this timer, 10 minutes. You remind me in 10 minutes when this goes off, because it's probably been 10 minutes. Got the timer going? Yeah. We'll back this down to 350. We got an internal thermometer. We'll let it rest because I'll get busy doing other things, and pretty good. I'm just gonna say, in 10 minutes when this timer goes off, I'll set another timer for 2 hours. I am who I am. We better set the next timer for 1.5 hours, 90 minutes. Just check in then. We'll be busy with other things and move forward from there. And before too much gets going, let's just get another baking sheet ready to go with this last batch of Save the Pillsbury biscuits. That's what we'll call them. And so those will be ready to go. I don't have a timer on those. I guess when this timer goes off for the roaster ovens, because these were, well, it says 7 to 12 biscuits, 23 to 28 minutes. Pretty good. We're not off too much there. So when this timer goes off, I'll check those. Maybe we'll spin our pans. When those are done, we'll put this last bag in. And now I just need to kind of ask myself if I am feeling, I guess I better stay with the biscuit theme, because we have those thoughts, and we have a lot of salad stuff to prep jar salads. Oh yeah, and then there was the biscuits and gravy. And I have an hour and 45 minutes left. Okay, well, if I can accomplish biscuits and do the breakfast freezer meal sandwiches tomorrow, hey, I've meal prepped for my meal prep. Well, the timer hasn't gone off yet, but I did think, I better just go ahead and check these anyway. I'm moving this. I mean, they're the appropriate size. These are gonna go up a rack. These are honestly, probably done. That wrist is not that strong. Yeah, these will, call those good. And then this third pan, about my wrist, because I know you all care about me and get concerned and things. That's my wrist I broke last year, and it feels good. It just felt weak. It wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago, almost 2-year anniversary. Anyway, it just felt weak with that pan. It was awkward, but it's given me no other trouble. Okay, that's good. Yes, little dark, but I won't tell if you won't. Again, these are the size, though, that my people are used to. They're used to biscuits like the size of their hand, so these will do. All right, that timer's off. I'm gonna set another timer though, just for like 7 minutes to check the biscuits that are in there. And then for these roasters, we will just put them down on 350. And then put this one, if I can get over here, and they'll do their thing. We've already had some biscuit samples going out. And my guys were like, where's the butter in these? Yours always have big chunks of butter in them. And I'm like, sorry. These have whatever they have in them, but it's better than letting it go to waste, and mine will be a coming. So save those. And these last two pans aren't quite as dark, but those have already been going out. You can see some butter left on the counter. We'll get that back in the fridge. Alrighty, and I will link my biscuit recipe in the description below over on largecontable.com. I have a big batch biscuit recipe. We'll still see, though. I might end up doubling my butter, haha. So I've got 12 cups of flour, and then it is 8 tablespoons or half a cup of baking powder. So I'm gonna get this in here. And then how much salt? 4 teaspoons of salt, which can be a tablespoon and a teaspoon. Okay, baking powder. Just have to always watch myself, right? When I get busy chatting, doing things. Okay, so that's a half a teaspoon. I will do a tablespoon and then a teaspoon, which will be 2 of these. What else do I need as far as dry ingredients? 8 tablespoons baking powder, 12 cups flour, 4 teaspoons salt, 2 cups of shortening and milk, and then it's 6 cups. I say 2 cups of shortening or butter. That's just what I had in that recipe. And I have 2 cups of butter in the box here looking at me. And do we double it for fun? I'm gonna try to play it straight. So anyway, just mixing these together. Dishwasher's still talking to us, but it's working. So that's nice. We appreciate that, dishwasher. I showed you, we got all the cans of biscuits out. That is good. And these ingredients over here. Okay, even got a biscuit cutter out. Look at us. So, half a cup, a whole cup. I'm looking here. Yes, a whole cup. And then another cup. Proud of us. I'm just going to use, now this isn't from the freezer though. Hopefully it grates okay. I didn't think of that. I probably do have some downstairs in my freezer. You grate okay? Yeah. It's really nice to use frozen butter for it, but that's okay. Could do this over a plate. That would probably make more sense instead of holding it awkwardly and oddly. Okay. Just gotta work out our systems, that's all. That's all. I don't make big batch homemade biscuits every day. I'm trying to remember the last time we did these. I know we got some biscuits made in the winter. I don't think I've made any this summer. I think it's probably been 6 months since we have done big batch homemade biscuits. And it's not that we've had homemade biscuits that whole time. Last time I did them, we probably had biscuits as an option over about 6 to 8 weeks, if that long. Butter sculptures. Again, so much better if it's frozen, but it can be hard to get to this point in our meal prepping, and I don't want to go downstairs to get frozen butter. And this is shredding okay. So all is well. Okay, 2 cups of butter, and we will scrape off these last little bits. I might need that for something else, but, and then we're gonna do, it's 6 cups of milk. If I can get my butter spread around. Again, when it's frozen, it minds its business pretty well. Got the milk. Hopefully I have enough milk upstairs. Okay, 6 cups. See, this is where I get off. I keep thinking about the 12 cups of flour, and just now in my head I thought, oh, I'm almost out of milk and I need 12 cups of milk, but I don't. I need 6 cups of milk. I got 4 in there. I'm saying this out loud to help me remember. We need 2 more. And then we'll be making some biscuits here in a minute. I am going to quickly just get some water. These items, because I might need those coming up. So we'll just let that water run for a minute. Okay, pretty good. Just want to mix it enough, then we're going to roll it out and cut our biscuits. And I think we'll just call this first batch freezer biscuits. I am making this up as I go as to how I want to handle this cooking. You know I want to end up maybe not until tomorrow, but with already cooked biscuits and sausage patties on there for breakfast. Homemade freezer meal breakfast options too, but I also just want regular old freezer biscuits in the freezer for our choose your own adventure meals. That's probably good for now, and then we will roll it out. See, tan lines, signs of summer. Tan lines from my watch. And I should have pans with parchment paper ready, but that's just how we'll do it for the moment. And really, I realize, friends, with these biscuits, I need to make so many more. I don't know. Can I get, not today. We're not doing this today. We're making a lot of biscuits, okay? We come in under 100, but almost 100. But these aren't all going to be just for the freezer. You're gonna see. Things happen, biscuits get eaten. These biscuits have adventures. I probably need to have, like, always on hand 120 biscuits in the freezer ready to go, right? Because that's 10 dozen biscuits, and that way I would have 3 to 4 dozen to bake at a time from scratch, ready to go. We're gonna get there. I probably you know what I'm gonna need? We need to do a dedicated biscuit day where all I do on that one day is a ton of homemade biscuits and a ton of gluten-free biscuits. And I'm not allowed, like the challenge will be, no other projects, biscuits only. And that is how I can get 120 or more in the freezer. But really, but I'd have to make more than that so that my biscuit eaters are satisfied when they see me making biscuits, so I can then get the 120 in the freezer. So I would probably need to make 160 See, this is large family biscuit math. I need to make 160 biscuits. So I have 40 to distract my herd of people here so I can then get 120 in the freezer. But again, this recipe, it's 12 cups of flour. I've always used all-purpose with this. I've also done it with wheat or half and half. 8 tablespoons of baking powder, 4 teaspoons of salt, 2 cups of course, we've got butter. We're going to use tallow. People also use lard. You can use shortening, and 6 cups of milk. Also, the only time we're doing this, we're just checking in, eyeballing our chickens. I decided we're doing some more batches. While we got the mess, while we can get them in the freezer, we're gonna do that. Chickens are looking lovely. Alrighty, so that 12 cups of flour batch made 32 big biscuits. And like I said, while the mess is out, I wanna keep rolling. I wanna keep rolling with this. Okay, so many of these things we need to wash. Just get right off and use again. Let's just say that we will do 2 more batches. Does that sound about right? Because that will give us over 60 biscuits. No, that'll give us over 90 biscuits. I just got a little over 30 with that batch that we just did. So let's math. So if we do 2 more batches, that'll be 90. And then maybe we get about 30 frozen. Nope, about 50 frozen. That's what I'm seeing in my head. And then we can get, if not today, we're at least prepped to do 30 to 40 sausage biscuits prepped and ready to go in the freezer. I'm liking this. I'm liking this math. And I'm here talking myself into doubling my big batch recipe, but I think I'm just gonna play it straight. You know, we try. Just because I have this bowl dirty already, I'd have to get into, you know, pull out one of my 30 quart bowls. I think we'll do that. And if you use that recipe with the 12 cups of flour and just do sensible, not giant size biscuits, I mean, you'll probably get 4 dozen or so. And that sounds pretty sensible. Okay, I need to go get my flour. Now, something I just realized though, in wanting to do 2 more batches, dress is still pretty okay. Don't worry, for pictures I plan to change my clothes, but I only have a box and a half left of butter, and I should call this half a box just family household butter. So I have butter for 1 more batch. Then something different, we're gonna substitute tallow, okay? You can also, I was reading about using lard in biscuits, which I've never done. I was just taking a minute to read all the other things that we can substitute butter with, and of course, the original recipe talks about shortening, but I was looking for options. My lard, extra large, large lard. A few weeks ago, found 2 more things of lard, and I thought I was out. I have a whole lot of tallow that we did last February. So we're going to use tallow, not in this batch. I'm telling you what's coming up, okay? I think we have enough to do this is what I'm trying to say. We're just gonna try some tallow biscuits. So get our baking powder in here, and then our salt. And then we have our butter and our milk. See, this is why I'm just focusing on one big batch. But with the lard, hold on, tablespoon, nope, with the tallow, I'm just gonna do 2 cups and we'll cut it up the best we can. And I'll mix it up with my hands. It's not cold, it's not liquid either, it's not frozen. Yeah, another thing for our grocery list. I was thinking I may have to, you know, I've always been a large family, once a month grocery shopping kind of lady. Back in my farmhouse way back in the day with, you know, only 5 kids ages 4 and under and 3 elementary school kids above that, I truly did 1 shopping day a month. And I'm just thinking with life and stuff and things, I might need just to give in to the idea of weekly grocery shopping. Like I can do a big shopping trip, you know, beginning of the month, stock up best I can, get going, but I'm having trouble staying ahead on things, obviously. And even though this mixing spoon's a little wet, it'll work. So I'm just thinking we'll do some big shopping, and then I might start just picking like 1 morning a week that I can go out and load up some more. You know, I love the Walmart delivery option too. But anyway, just thinking of something new in my routine. I could take a morning and run around to the little grocery stores and do that. Okay, this is mixed in. Now, I better look at my recipe. Okay, somewhere I lost my plate. So, 2 cups of butter. And let me see how this, again, I'm distracted with my tallow, but now I had never done home processed tallow or lard until last winter. I saved the beef fat and the pork fat up for a while. My friend Jessica from 3 Rivers Homestead, she told me when she does her tallow that hers, yep, no rotten smell, that hers stores in her pantry, in her basement for about a year. So that's what I went on with it. We'll see how my mileage varies, but so far I'm like, February, that was such a long time ago. And look at us, we're doing it, we're using it. Okay, that is a little bit of butter used. Let me just, well, I'm gonna trade this stick out. There you go. So my family will have a little bit of butter for the next few days. And like I was saying, I think in a few days, we're gonna go back in the morning and maybe just give myself like a 2 to 3 hour window one morning, maybe Saturday morning or something, although I might have a running event this Saturday. Anyway, we'll pick a morning and go back and hit what stores we can in that time, just to stock up and keep us in things. That caught my attention because I have this maybe 1/4 of a gallon of milk left, and I had someone bring up another gallon, but that's the last gallon. So, and I like to get into stores when I can. So if I know that I have a morning that I could get into the stores, then I won't think, oh, I'll just put in a quick Walmart delivery order, which again, no shame in that mama game. But if I have a morning that I know I'm going, I think I do, I think Thursday morning, then I'll save my list for then, do it while I'm out, and that way we can look for other deals and goodies while we're out there in the shopping universe in person like the olden days, right? there's that batch going in the freezer, and we're getting into the pizza pan and well-loved baking sheet pans of the evening. We've got some more batches to do, and I have those pans over there with those Pillsbury biscuits on there. Guess it wouldn't. I'm just in the middle of doing things with biscuit pans, so I'm just gonna pretend like those aren't over there right now. Get some parchment paper going on our next pan. Have way more loose flour at the bottom of this than I thought, so let me just try. Come on now, we're all supposed to be mixed together. Don't want anything to go wrong. We want nice, happy biscuits. We want this to be the Bob Ross of biscuits, right? Bob Ross of YouTube biscuit makers. That's us. Looking at my timer here, 23 minutes left. I think I've got a little bit more time after that. I'm not sure what actual time it is right now because my watch is off, but I had set my timer for 75 minutes. Now I do, that you don't see on camera, I do have mom life and stuff and things. I just had somebody in here who was using a Sharpie marker on a dry erase board, you know, so that's some mom life reality action for ya. And yeah, we have those off camera adventures too. So if I can get this batch done, get our third batch done, we'll be doing pretty good. And then we will have saved our Pillsbury biscuit dough. We will have made, hopefully, up to 90, I'm gonna say 80 to 90 biscuits. I know the math should be a little over 90, but I might make some too big, or, you know, some other adventures might happen here. I haven't counted how many we got in this batch. What do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 3, okay. So it's 24, it's 2 dozen. That one looks like it has a bite out of it though. That shapely. I feel like I'm making these thicker. That's why I was adjusting my numbers. We're gonna have a good many biscuits. Let's do that kind of math. A good many. That's a measurement. That one can't fall apart too much on us, please. Now we're gonna do our experimental tallow biscuits. Those I should probably mark also. I feel like it'll be easy to tell. I feel like I'll be able to, you know, see and know this later, but maybe I won't. So let's just prepare. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29. Okay, I think our last batch was 32, so we're not off too much there. We just have some thicker biscuits in this batch. So friends, for this lard adaptation, I'm still using the same 12 cups of flour. I'm still using the 8 tablespoons of our baking powder. I'm also, in place of the 2 cups of butter, I'm doing the equivalent of 2 cups of lard. And I will have the full recipe linked for you down in the description below. Now, I don't know how this is gonna go. Oh, I said lard already. Where am I? Where am I going? I meant tallow. I was wishing for lard, but those hopes and dreams did not come true. However, I've read on the internet that people have used tallow
in replace of butter in their homemade biscuits as well. And you know we have a whole mega lots of tallow that we need to be cooking through and using for different projects. So I thought this was a perfect situation to use up our tallow, make our homemade biscuits, and make the best of it. I cannot wait to bake up a dozen regular homemade from scratch with the butter, and also bake up a dozen with the tallow and see how this all works out. I have read that these are extra flaky and delicious biscuits, so we're gonna see how it goes. Just going to put that over, and hey, look, we're reusing our parchment paper. So we get this ready to flash freeze, and I want to mark these tallow. You should see what my camera looks like. Just want to be sure when I bag these for the freezer and or work on, it's supposed to be our jars for our jar salads that aren't getting done today. Surprise, surprise. That's okay, we persevere around here. I just want to mark those so if I bake some up to see how they turn out, and then also if we do our from scratch sausage biscuits. I mean, we are doing that. We are prepping for that today. Look at us, I'm proud of us. Okay. I want to mark the freezer bags with the word tallow. It's probably, you know, no different. Google said large flaky biscuits with lard and tallow. So I like that. And I just want to see, maybe it'll be our new favorite thing. I don't know how we can beat butter biscuits, but I also like to learn new things and try new things and get new favorites. Here, remind me in a minute, we need to mark it with the word tallow. Just a little way I can keep it straight.
Now we'll just have a precious little baby biscuit. Mark this paper with the word tallow. And we will go from there to our final count here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 6, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 59. All right, so 59 biscuits that we just did in these 2 batches, plus the 32 that we got from the first batch, 91 biscuits, yay. And that's a little over 7.5 dozen. Sounds good to me. I have to fly into action to get ready for family pictures that are happening in 20 minutes. You know, pretty okay. And then when we are done with that, I'll show you the chicken and we'll get more things buttoned up. And that'll be perfect because we'll let the 91 biscuits flash freeze, and then after pictures, we'll get those bagged up too. Okay, so per our usual, chicken internal temperature 208, 204. So I'm just gotta do pictures now for a bit. I'm gonna just put the lids on, unplug it. It'll wait for us and we'll be back. And I'm sure it's same story over here. 206. 203, 198. This skin isn't quite as crispy looking, but anyway, leave the lid on. Internal temperature's great. Good job, chicken. Alrighty, well, I changed for pictures. Hey, family fall pictures, boots activated. The chickens look delicious. I have all the biscuits that we flash froze out, and we are gonna get these bagged up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get all 91 bagged up for the freezer, because again, to go with our chicken tonight, folks have the option of those Pillsbury biscuits that we saved. I'm gonna have some chicken and a sweet potato and call it good. I do wanna bake, I don't know, will it be 30? Will it be 30 from scratch sausage biscuits for the freezer? Will it be 50? I don't know, but I like to bake my homemade biscuits from frozen. So I'm just gonna get these frozen tonight. We will make those decisions tomorrow. I did stack all of these biscuits for our picture so you can see all the biscuits that we made. And you know, we already flash froze these. I put all the tallow ones on the top. So that's how we'll keep that straight. These are so big that I'm only got 9 in this first bag. Let's try another one. Okay. And I look, because I can see the butter in the other ones. The reason we freeze them is just like we saw with those Pillsbury biscuits. Once they were defrosted, the dough just became a big ball of mush. So I freeze them first, just like Pillsbury must have done, right? Because those were all individual, already frozen in the freezer section when I got them marked down at Sharp Shopper. And so I'm like, am I even gonna mark these bags? We are going through these so quick, and they're obviously biscuits.
But you know, I am the lady that put, what was it, a gallon bag of homemade sloppy joe mix in my spaghetti sauce lately. So let me answer my own question, although that was delicious. Okay, tallow. So the pictures went great. Golden Hour was doing all its wonderful golden things. We got all the different picture combinations. Now it was only seven of my 9 kids. My older adult kids that are in their early to mid 20s were not available, and that's just life and stuff and things and juggling schedules. But it was my mom and I and my 7, which out of that 7 there is an adult as well, but they were available tonight. So that's just how that works, and we will try again later. And I thought, well, we'll at least get this done tonight, and that'll be done, and that'll be great. We'll be happy about that. Okay, I do think there's a few more of these that are tallow. And again, I'm only getting 9 to a bag. I wonder, you know what? I think it's me. These are the stand, like the bags that are kind of made to stand at the end. So I might actually, maybe if I push that out, that's probably the problem. As we like to say, I'm the problem, it's me. And when I say that, I know some of you are like, Jay Morrell, you are not a problem. Do not say that. When I say that, we're just having fun, right? Because one of our rules in Jam Fam is it's fun to have fun, but you have to know how. Dr. Seuss, right? So we like to have a good time. Okay, that's still tallow. That's tallow. There's no butter chunks in that. Where these other ones on the bottom, you can see the butter. Okay, that has butter. Butter. You might have butter. I think we're okay. Again, I just want to, on purpose, bake some with the tallow that, well, so I can say, hey, look, friends, this is what the tallow ones look like. My gluten-free folks were just asking if these biscuits were gluten-free, and I was saying tomorrow, because those low-carb biscuits that I want to do are also gluten-free, so that will be good. I don't think I'll mistake my biscuits for sloppy joe mix, so that's also good. I don't always double layer these, but again, they are already frozen. I can probably get away with it. I just think more of stacking. All right, 91 biscuits. We got, I think it's about 7-gallon bags there, and I'm gonna load them back on this sheet pan and then have my folks get these down in the freezer, and we will deal with cooking some of these up in tomorrow's meal prep, and again, making those freezer meal biscuits. And so in today's video, I'm gonna show you those chickens and some dinner plates. In today's video, yay, we prepped and baked 25 pounds of potatoes. There's
some onions in there too, why not? We also did 4 full chickens and 91 from scratch biscuits, and we saved that Pillsbury biscuit dough. So we did something. It feels like just a dent, but tomorrow afternoon when I'm able to have a few more hours of meal prep time, I'll be able to roll right into other projects, and today we did the prep work for several of those. And of course, the jar salads are judging us, but we now have 24 clean jars out and ready to go. This water bottle, that doesn't count. But got the jars, we're doing that coming up. And then here, there's 2 of our chickens. Here are the other 2 chickens. And then here's the rest of the potatoes that we threw in the slow cooker several hours ago. Thank you so much for doing all of this massive meal prep and homemade freezer meals with me this afternoon, friends. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you real soon with another brand new video. Bye-bye.